Have you ever watched someone command a room? Not with loud words, not with demands, but with silence, with a subtle withdrawal. They pull back slightly, and suddenly the energy changes. People lean in, they start guessing. They feel a sudden need to reconnect, to understand, to chase. Imagine harnessing that power. Imagine stepping back from the noise. Imagine choosing silence over the instant reply. Imagine a deliberate pause instead of an explosion. What happens when you stop being the first to react? What changes when you are no longer constantly there? Here lies a profound truth. When you cease being perpetually available, emotionally, physically, mentally, the world around you feels a tremor. Why? Because people are accustomed to your predictability. They've learned how to steer you through your quick reactions, through your impulses, through your desire to please. But the moment you choose to withdraw, the moment you choose strategic silence, the game shifts entirely. Those who believed they had you figured out, they find themselves facing a mystery. They realize they knew only the surface, the part you allowed them to see. I once observed that challenges reveal character, and irritation often points inward. Think about it. When you become less accessible, who becomes agitated? Who pushes harder? Who tries to provoke a reaction, any reaction? Their desperation tells a story, not about you, but about their reliance on controlling your response. It shows how deeply you might still be influenced. Without even noticing, you keep giving, saying yes to keep the peace, responding instantly to avoid conflict, holding on to people who were never truly invested in you. Each forced agreement, each immediate answer, each emotional reflex. It costs you. You give away fragments of your vital energy, your personal power, and what remains at day's end. Exhaustion, a quiet frustration, an emptiness you struggle to name. Let me tell you why it lingers. You are pouring yourself out. For those who don't value the offering, for those who haven't earned even a moment of your silence. This isn't a call to build walls around your heart. It's not about shutting out the world in bitterness. No, this is about choosing yourself. It's about reclaiming your sovereignty. It's about understanding true inner strength, the kind that doesn't need constant external validation. This journey involves recognizing a simple fact. Your deliberate silence can roar louder than any argument. Your conscious withdrawal is not retreat. It is a statement of power. It is an act of profound self-respect. When it stems from awareness, not fear. So I ask you directly, look within yourself right now. How much longer will you allow the emotional currents of others to pull you under? How much longer will you dance like a puppet, reacting every time someone tugs at an old wound? Perhaps the time has come, the time to snip those strings, the time to step back into the quiet strength of your own space, the time to become less predictable, more grounded in your own being. Because mark my words, when you stop being perpetually available, everything around you begins to change. Your world reshapes itself. You were taught, weren't you? Be present, always. Answer quickly. Make everyone comfortable. Say yes, especially when no burns in your throat. From your earliest days, you absorbed the lesson. Your value is tied to your accessibility. Your worth measured by how readily you serve others' needs. But here is a truth seldom spoken so plainly. This constant excessive availability, it is not a strength. It is a cage, a self-imposed limitation. And as long as you believe you must be reachable at all times, emotionally, physically, digitally, you remain vulnerable. Vulnerable to being drained, to being manipulated, to being taken for granted, and ultimately to being forgotten once your perceived usefulness fades. Do you understand why? Being always available makes you predictable. And predictable things, my friend, often become tools. People learn they can press your button for attention when they're lonely, for relief when they're stressed, for validation when they doubt themselves. They use you as an emotional first aid kit, then place you back on the shelf until the next emergency. You may not see it clearly, trapped in the hope that if you are always there for everyone, someone, someday, will finally be there for you. But life rarely balances the scales that way. True connection isn't built on depletion. We all wear masks sometimes, to fit in, to be liked, to gain recognition. This mask often takes the form of excessive availability. You say, "I'm fine," when you are crumbling inside. You reply to messages instantly, sacrificing your own peace. You over-explain. You justify your boundaries. You defend your need for space, as if you owe the world an apology for existing. But the stark reality is this: the more you try to manage everyone else's perception of you, the more you vanish from your own life's center stage. Being constantly available is a quiet form of self-abandonment. It's a hidden plea for approval, a desperate attempt to dodge rejection, an illusion of controlling how others see you. But this control has a cost, a very high cost. The currency is your inner peace, your vital life force. You distribute it freely as if it were limitless, but it is not. It is finite. It is precious. It is yours. Consider this carefully. Those who demand your constant availability, do they truly value you? Or do they value what you provide? The validation, the easy company, the convenient distraction, the emotional regulation they haven't learned themselves. Watch what happens when you change the pattern, when you establish a clear boundary. When you simply refuse to react on cue, those same people often react with irritation. They might accuse you of being selfish, of changing, of being difficult. Understand this reaction clearly. It's not truly about you changing. It's about you no longer being predictably functional for them. You disrupted their pattern of use. And here is a point that might sting, but must be understood. The more readily available you are, the less inherent value others tend to place on you. Think about it. What is abundant is often treated carelessly. It becomes common, expected. People rarely cherish what they don't have to make an effort for. Respect is often earned through presence, yes, but also through discerning absence. Value is perceived in scarcity. Not the scarcity of manipulation, but the scarcity born of self-respect. The understanding that your time, your energy, your focus are valuable resources to be shared intentionally, not drained indiscriminately. So, stop. Right now. Take a deep breath and ask yourself with piercing honesty, who genuinely deserves the precious resource of your time? Who has earned your focused attention, your deep listening, your presence, and perhaps even more importantly, who deserves the power of your absence? Who needs to experience the shift that happens when you reclaim your energy, when you choose silence, when you decide to be available first and foremost to yourself? This isn't about becoming cold or distant. It's about becoming deliberate. It's about understanding your own worth, independent of external demands. It's about mastering your impulses, choosing response over reaction. It's about conserving your power, directing it consciously towards what truly matters, towards your goals, your well-being, your peace. Learn to withdraw strategically, not as an escape, but as a recentering. Learn the immense power held within a pause, within the unspoken boundary, within the quiet refusal to be drawn into unnecessary drama. Stop handing out your energy like free samples. Start investing it like the precious capital it is. Become the master of your own availability. Decide who gets access to your inner world, based not on their demands, but on your discernment. When you value your own time, others will learn to value it too. When you respect your own energy, others are more likely to respect it. When you stop being constantly, predictably available, you cease being a tool. You start becoming a presence, a force, someone grounded in their own power. Cut the strings, reclaim your focus, embrace the quiet strength of strategic withdrawal. Choose yourself. Observe how the world recalculates its approach. Observe how respect grows where demands once stood. Your greatest power lies not in constant reaction, but in conscious choice. Choose wisely. Choose yourself. And watch everything change.